We are living through something absolutely wild right now. The speed of technological change is it's completely outpacing how fast our schools can adapt. Artificial intelligence isn't some sci-fi concept anymore. It's here. It's grading essays, it's tutoring our kids, and it is fundamentally changing what it even means to be knowledgeable. So, where does that leave us? Let's dive in. And that really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. This question right here. What does it actually mean to be educated in a world where you can look up any fact in a split second, but finding real wisdom, real understanding, that's harder than ever? So let's just dive right in. The Great Disruption. And look, this isn't about what's coming 10 years from now. We're talking about how AI is already an active and sometimes invisible partner in the classroom today, right now. I mean, just look at the sheer breadth of this. We've all heard the stories about ChatGPT writing essays, but it goes so much deeper. You've got tools like Conmigo offering personalized tutoring on a scale that, let's be honest, no human system could ever match. You have Google using AI to help kids learn to read, and platforms like Duolingo, they're using these incredible adaptive engines that tailor lessons to you in real time. It is already here, shaping the day-to-day of learning. Okay, so here's the really crucial thing to get your head around. It's this contrast. On one hand, AI is absolutely brilliant at the stuff we've always tested for in school, right? Flawless recall of information, spotting patterns, solving standardized problems. It's a machine built for that. But on the other hand, it has zero consciousness, zero real emotion or empathy. It completely lacks ethical judgment. It can follow rules about fairness, sure, but it can't feel or understand justice. And that is the central tension we are all grappling with. And this forces us to ask a really uncomfortable question. If a tool, an algorithm, can already do most of the things we grade students on, then what are we actually teaching? Seriously, if a student's final paper or exam answers can be replicated or even done better by a machine, then we have to completely redefine what learning is all about. And that challenge, it really points to the root of the problem. Our current model of education is, for the most part, obsolete. We're preparing students for a world that has, frankly, already disappeared. Just think about it for a second. Our schools were designed to look like factories. The bells that ring, they're like the start and end of a work shift. The students sitting in neat, uniform rows. Knowledge itself is broken up into these separate, siloed subjects that never talk to each other. The whole system was built for the industrial age, an economy where the most important skills were being efficient and compliant. But that world is long gone. The reality our kids are growing up in is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. People call it a VUCA world. The jobs they're going to have will demand flexibility, creativity, emotional intelligence, and a strong ethical compass, none of which are the main focus of our old factory model. We have a serious, dangerous mismatch on our hands. So what's the way out of this? Well, the answer isn't to try and compete with AI on its own terms. That's a losing game. The path forward is to complement it. And that brings us to this incredible idea, a human renaissance, a new vision where we redefine education around the very things that make us human, the things machines simply cannot do. So what are those things? Well, first up, empathy, the ability to actually connect with another person, to listen, and to understand where they're coming from. Next, ethics. We need to teach our kids how to make tough decisions based on their values, especially in moments where data and logic just aren't enough. And of course, creativity, the magic of imagining something that doesn't exist yet and then finding a way to bring it into the world. And finally, the big one, wisdom. It's not about just knowing a bunch of facts. It's about understanding the context, the meaning, and the consequences of that knowledge. There's this quote from the source material that just hits the nail on the head. The great irony of AI is that it forces us to remember our humanity. It's so true. As machines take over more and more of the thinking tasks, the things that are uniquely human, they become incredibly strategically valuable. So what this means is that education has to shift from just acquiring information to actively making meaning. It's not enough to just consume facts anymore. We have to teach students how to ask the big questions. Where does this information fit in? Is it true? Is it useful? Is it just? How can I use this to build something new? And does doing this align with my values? The goal is to build with knowledge, not just collect it. Now, a renaissance like this, it demands a total rethink of our teachers and our schools. It's not a small tweak, it's a complete transformation. So let's look at what that might look like. The teacher is no longer the sage on the stage, the person with all the answers. In a world with AI, we have the ultimate answer machine. So the teacher's role gets elevated. They become a curator of learning experiences, a guide for a student's inner development, a model of what it means to be compassionate and present. They create a space where it's safe to fail and to grow. You see, AI can give you an answer. Only a human can give you their attention. And this raises another big question. If you can learn anything from anywhere, why even have school buildings? Well, the purpose of school has to change. They can't just be factories for compliance anymore. They need to become, as the source puts it, temples of humanity, places dedicated to human connection, to community, to wrestling with big moral questions. Now, let's be real. This kind of transformation is not going to be easy, and it is definitely not without risks. So for this final section, we need to talk about choosing our future, and about the absolute necessity of navigating these changes with wisdom, not just a blind obsession with speed. There are at least 3 massive red flags we have to watch out for. First up, equity. The digital divide could get way worse, creating a kind of educational apartheid. That's why we have to fund public, open-source tools for everyone. Second, depersonalization. We can't let learning become some empty, gamified dopamine loop. We have to balance AI with real human connection and storytelling. And third, surveillance. If we're not careful, our students will become the product, their data mined and sold. We need laws that give students ownership of their own data. Technology is never destiny. It's always a choice, and it will always reflect our values. And that brings us to the core challenge, which is captured perfectly in this quote. The measure of our AI-enhanced education system will not be how smart it makes us, but how humane we remain. So, to wrap all this up, I want to leave you with one final thought. The big, urgent question we need to be asking is no longer how do we fit AI into our old classrooms. The real question, the one that truly matters, is this: what kind of human beings do we want to emerge from them?